Thank you again for being with us so far. We're going to close our program with a piece that is very, very, very near and dear to my heart, titled Not Alone by Randall Standard. If you notice in the program, the title is Not in parentheses and Alone. Not Alone is part of a larger collection of works called The Unbroken Project. It's lowercase un and capital broken. Randall Standard wrote The Unbroken Project as an artistic means to express what it is like to live with mental illness, specifically depression and anxiety. And the reason that I wanted to program this piece this year is because of what American medical groups are labeling the teen mental health crisis. And notice the last word in that, crisis. As a teacher, we have to wear a lot of hats. Educator, parents for some of us, and a lot of times guidance counselors. We're supposed to have a guidance counselor for, I think it's 50 or 100 kids, and in the entire school of Calloway County High School, we have 2. And it's hard to watch some of these kids go through what they're going through, because I can guarantee you, almost every student in high school feels anxiety at some point, but some students are coming into our halls with severe depression, severe anxiety disorders, and battling those demons every day. And Randall Standridge programmed this as a means to express the anger, the frustration, or put into another image of what it's like to have that feeling of a voice inside you constantly saying, you can't do this, almost all the time. As an artist, as a composer, as a musician, that happens to us a lot, where we'll be as prepared as we can possibly be, but then you get on stage and you have to really ignore that voice that pops up. This is also a very important piece to me because in June of 2012, I lost my father to depression and ultimately suicide. So we've used this piece in our class to talk a lot about what does it mean to be mentally healthy, and what is it like to check in with each other, and how do I know if someone's not okay, or how do I tell someone that I'm not okay, and not to feel judged for it. Because I think that's one of the big things in our country, and especially in high school, is that students still feel very judged of saying, hey, I'm not feeling right today, even though that's a perfectly natural human emotion. So this has been a great learning tool and a great artistic experience that I think the students have really, really latched onto, and it's been incredible to watch them grow not only the technical proficiency in this, but also the emotional maturity of playing this piece. There are a couple of things you're going to hear specifically in the piece that I'd like to draw your attention to. The first one is called Shirley's Theme, which is actually the main theme of the entire collection. The entire Unbroken Project appears in almost all of the pieces. And that is written for Mr. Standridge's mother, who lives with severe depression. There's a second theme, a 3-note descending motive, bum, 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 which represents darkness, and this is what he labels as the mental illness motif. And the final one is a third theme is the hope motif, which is heard in the mallets and the piano, and it represents the individual trying to find hope for happiness and a better future. And then the fourth one is the crisis motif, which is a 12-tone serial motif. And in music terms, that's where we strip away all accented pitches related to harmony. Each of the 12 diatonic chromatic pitches are equal weight. So it's a very angular, very jagged and aggressive style of music. And this is the despair motive. And he brings all of these together and combines a wonderful, wonderful piece of music that I think you're going to really enjoy. You'll also hear some of the band say no, whispering no, and that's the voices of anxiety creeping in. So some really neat things going on in this piece. Again, thank you so much for being here tonight, and we are very, very proud to close our concert with Not Alone by Randall Standard.